Hello. So, guys, I'm sure all of us have been tuning into a lot of entertainment programs, a lot of things online. But especially on radio, we hear the voice, but the person we really don't know. The face and the voice is a very important combination, but the radio does wonders in this aspect. And well, today I'm bringing on a person whose voice has done wonders across the city. Today, she is my guest on my talk show. Well, without further ado, I'm gonna invite my guest on. Please welcome the RJ from Radio Mirchi, Mirchi RJ. Hello. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, first of all, Sarah, welcome to my talk show, Pillow Talks with Akhil.
It's a pleasure being on your talk show, Akhil, and I'm so happy to be joining you in a fun-filled conversation today.
Yes, I'm sure you've held a lot of interviews on your show.
That's true.
And now for you to be interviewed on another show, I hope it's going to be a pleasant one for you.
Of course, it goes without saying, yaar. Matlab, you're such an interesting conversationalist. You've come and joined my chats on so many occasions earlier, and I've always had fun talking to you. So I'm looking forward to this one today.
Yes, and of course we've all seen you in our college when you'd come down for a Women's Day celebration. I think that's when I met you for the first time, and it was so amazing to listen to the way you spoke, the way you articulated a lot of things. I think a lot of us boys really understood a lot of things that day about feminism, about women empowerment. There was a lot of good conversations that had happened that day. So
Right.
that's when I connected to you as a person. And then I went through your programs on Radio Mirchi and joined you for a couple of lives on your show. And today, for you to come on my show, it's an amazing, amazing experience. So thank you so much for, first of all, accepting my invitation.
Pleasure's all mine, and I'm super excited to talk to you today.
Yes, so am I. So let's begin our conversations with how it all started for you. When was this, when you joined degree into, how was it? How was this life into the media? I'm sure your degree channel must have brought you into this. So how was that life? How was your degree life like?
So honestly speaking, Akhil, I think I had like a great college life. I was this, person right from college days, जो जिसे कहते हैं ना, मतलब non-stop chitter chatter करना. I think that tag I got right from my college days, right from my college principal to my teachers. Everybody knew who Mirchi Sara was back then. I mean, that time I was Sara, I was not Mirchi Sara, but yeah, everybody knew me back then. And I think media के साथ मेरा relationship was never a one which was, it was never like a क्या बोलते हैं it was never like a loyal relationship. Media and Sara were never together. It so happened that after my 10th grade there were a lot of things that I wanted to get into. For example, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a doctor. There were so many professions that I thought of, Akhil, and I'm so glad that eventually I found my interest in media, and that's when I decided after my 12th that if I would pursue anything, it would be broadcast journalism. So I started my career with TV journalism. I did my masters in that, and my what do you say? My pehla job was with everybody who knows him. I mean, he's a sensation of the entire country, Mr. Arnab Goswami. So I have worked under him. I've had the opportunity to work under him. So yeah, journalism ka journey started with Times Now at the age of 21.
Wow. I think looking back, I think it was, you were in Mount Carmel College and
Can't hear you.
you had
Just a little not clear.
Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Very faint awaz. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Am I audible to you?
Okay, yeah. Tell me. You were asking me a question.
Yes. It was Mount Carmel College, right? You were in Mount Carmel and you had Mass media and communication, was it?
Right, that's right. So we had communications and journalism as two different streams. So I ended up picking up journalism as a part of my undergraduation.
Right. So after that, you got picked up at Times Now. How was your interview like? How was things at the interview?
You're asking me, Akhil, can you add me back because I can't hear you? You're not audible at all.
Yes, I'll add you back. I'll add you back.
Yeah, add me back.
Guys, there are some technical difficulties, some network issue. Let me add my guest back. Yes, I'm adding my guest back. I think now the network might be better.
Hi.
Hi, I think you can hear me now.
Yes, now I can hear you. It's much clearer and it's loud and clear now. Yeah, go ahead. You were asking me a question.
Yes. How was your interview like with Times? With Times Now, that was your first interview for your job.
That's true. So I was only 21 when I attended my first professional interview, and it was right through college. I was still doing my post graduation when companies were coming in and they were recruiting us towards the final phase of our entire course. It was it was very scary because obviously a young student at the age of 21, when you're building your foundation is not that strong. You still have so much more to learn. You sit for such a big interview with such a big company. It was scary. It was thrilling. It was thrilling because I knew that it was Mr. Goswami who was going to be interviewing all of us. And back then it was like a star moment as well, because I used to be like, wow, एक anchor को जिन्होंने हमने television पे देखा, who used to carry this Fadu debates, who used to talk to all his all his guests in such a fierce manner. I said, wow, this man is going to be interviewing me today, and I am super excited. It was good. I think my one advice, if anybody would ask me what is it from the interview that I took back or made me the person that I am today, it's all about having that self-confidence. I think the tool is, if you are a confident person, if you know that you're going to sit there and answer confidently whatever you know, and also have the confidence to even tell them about things probably you do not know if they ask you, just be honest. And I think that is the mantra to success, or a mantra to giving a good interview. So my interview went really great, and obviously the result of it was it landed me my first job.
Right. So talking about your first job, talk us through the journey that's been in Times Now. How was your work environment? How were the people there? How was Arnab as himself? How was he as a person when you went to work with him?
Okay, now this is a question that I'm pretty sure so many people have asked me because I've worked in Times Now. How is Mr. Arnab Goswami? He was your boss. You worked with the Nation Wants to Know host. So the only thing I would say, Akhil, is that media, the world of media, is not what you have probably seen on television, right? Everybody thinks, oh my God, it's such an exciting world. हाँ, office जाना है, फिर mic पकड़ना है और camera के साथ सामने खड़ के बस news बोलना है. It's not that. Honestly, even before I got into journalism, I used to always think that journalism क्या है यार? Journalism वही है ना, मतलब mic पकड़ो and then whatever news is given to you, you just say it. It was totally a different world. In fact, it was a different cup of tea altogether. And when I stepped into the world of journalism with my first job, it was scary world, yeah, Akhil, because wahan pe I realized that every small little thing had to be done by you. Whether it was putting facts together, whether it was getting the news stories for the day, whether it was how would you present the news, how are you going to speak about it, and also, how are you going to convince your boss that this is the story that you got to take on air today and talk to the entire nation about? So all of this came with a lot of responsibility. And because I was a person who never started off as a reporter, I started off as a news analyst. So a news analyst ka kaam was making questions for the news hour. Now, those of you guys who've seen the news hour with Arnab Goswami at 9 p.m., which was known as the primetime debate, I used to make questions along with my team members for that particular show. So my job was to make questions for him, and the same questions with which he would bombard the participants who came on his show. We were those naughty minds behind those questions. So it was a very thrilling experience, Akhil. Lot of learning, lot of new lessons that I came across every day, right from how to be professional, how to be a good journalist, what is the selection of news one takes, and not just that. I think what I learned as a journalist in Times Now working with Mr. Goswami was also the nose for news. You need to know what kind of news makes it to the television sets, because not every piece of news is a news that is worth telling people about, right? There are a lot of important piece of news. There's news which probably does not require that much amount of coverage. So it was always thrilling. And initially, Akhil, when I joined Times Now, I was this very naive girl from the city of Bengaluru in a huge city like Mumbai. It was scary. I mean, it was so scary for me that it took me good, 6 months to settle down. But I can tell you that Times Now has made me the person who I am today. I mean, the journalist that I am, the human being that I am, and of course, the city of Mumbai, the confident girl that talks in front of you today is thanks to that lovely city and my first job.
So, talking about Mumbai, how was it leaving your home in Bangalore, going all the way there, living alone in a new city? How was that? How when you got the offer and how you had to convince at home?
Right.
How was the entire scenario?
Honestly, the first thing that my parents told me is, you are not going to Mumbai. That's the first thing that they told me. तुम मुंबई नहीं जा रही हो. I'm like, what? मतलब ये कौन कहता है अपने child से यार? मतलब especially if your child has fared so well in an interview, ended up bagging a job all by yourself, parents should be so. I mean, they were very proud of me. They were extremely proud of me for the fact that I've got my first job all by myself. मैं खुद interview पे बैठी, मैंने खुद interview दिया, and I ended up getting selected in the core team of Mr. Goswami. So my parents were thrilled about it. But when they heard that my job demanded me to shift to Mumbai city, it was a big no. एक तो तुम्हें पता है ना अखिल, especially जब लड़कियों की बात आती है, parents are so protective about them, नहीं जा सकते, oh my god, we brought you up इतने प्यार से, and we're so concerned about your safety, you cannot step out of the house, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. So there was a lot of discussion about this, and I think finally my dean, believe it or not, this is a true story to all the girls probably in this chat, especially if you have your parents who are very protective about you, and they like we can't send you here, we can't send you there. You got to listen to the story, okay? So my dean of my college, Kanchan Kaur of IIJNM, where I'm a graduate from, she called up my parents and she gave them a yearful saying, "Agar beti ko journalist banana tha, so you need to know that a journalist's life is not sitting at home. She needs to step out." And and that's how the work happens. And she spoke to them, she convinced them, and then finally I got the chance to go to Mumbai. And it was, as I told you, Mumbai is इतना बड़ा शहर, मतलब सपनों की नगरी जिसे कहते हैं यार. And मैं भी एक लड़की बैंगलोर से बहुत छोटे छोटे सपने लेके गई थी उस शहर को, लेकिन ढेर सारा डर के साथ. I had a lot of fear in my heart. I'm like, how am I going to manage that city? How am I going to manage the people? But I went there. I looked for a house all by myself. I also faced a lot of rejection when it came to finding homes, because see, I don't want to get into that angle of religion in this particular talk show of ours. But what is the kind of sentiment that especially the minority community of Muslims face in Mumbai. When you say you're a Muslim, you're not given the house there. So I faced all those rejections. I luckily my office had given me accommodation for the first 2 weeks, so I comfortably could look for a house. But yeah, I did my level best, got in touch with brokers, went into so many streets of Mumbai, ended up getting a house, a beautiful apartment, which I shared with 2 of my other roommates, and thus began the journey in the city of Mumbai. My first home, my first job, and my first experience of staying away from home.
Wow, I think a lot of girls need to understand that if they choose something to follow as a degree, I think to turn it into a profession, they need to be sure of themselves. They need to have a lot of confidence and say that this is what I'm going to do.
Of course.
Be it in it's somewhere else. If I get the opportunity, I'm going to go there and I'm going to make it.
Of
I
course.
think in a city like Mumbai, if you can make a profession in the most wanted news channel
Right.
and under the big plan of News Hour, I think that's a huge opportunity which shouldn't be let go of. And we've seen a lot of girls here, a lot of not only girls, even guys who just do a degree just for the sake of doing it. I
True.
think without and without the conviction to do something, which is the main problem nowadays with the current generation.
Right.
So for all of them, this story will be very important, and I'm glad that you shared this story with us.
Of course,
So,
Akhil, like a small sentence, Akhil, to all the to all the youth, the generation of today, the generation Z especially, always have the confidence, guys. Always have the faith in you and in your dreams. All right, there are going to be a lot of people out there who are going to criticize you and tell you that you cannot do this, you cannot do that. But ultimately, the entire ball, they say, right, the ball's in your court. The reason they say the ball's in your court is when opportunity strikes you, grab that opportunity, and you're going to find a lot of hurdles in that opportunity. A lot of people saying that no, you are not fit to take up that opportunity. But believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and go and strive for it. Trust me, you're going to emerge only successful if you do so.
right. And Sarah, as you were saying, every news is not news that the entire nation should be paying attention to.
Of course.
There's a lot of research. There's a lot of research that you have to go through to make sure that the news that you've received from your sources are actually verified and true.
True.
So sometimes you get news which are not actually true completely.
Right.
How is that? How does that happen? How does content actually be accepted, and how does it actually go about? How does it reach the audience?
So see, Akhil, I'm going to be very honest about it. This is something that I would want every person to listen to, because this kind of informative information is not something that you get from your Bollywood movies, right? I mean, entertainment is totally a different sector, and लोग बहुत कम ऐसी चीजों पे ध्यान देते हैं, Akhil. And I'm so glad you brought about this topic about what is real news and what is fake news. And these days, as you know, with the advancement of technology, with the advancement of so many apps, you sometimes do not know how to figure out between what is actual news and what is fake news. And people blindly, मतलब WhatsApp में जो भी तुम्हारे मतलब family group से आता है, your friends, your neighbors send you, you don't even want to find out whether it's true, and you end up forwarding it to another person, and thus becomes an entire fake news trail which keeps getting which keeps getting passed on, and people start believing in it, and then there's so much of a chaos which is formed, right, when you do not know how to distinguish. I always tell people कि जिंदगी में ना, Akhil, it might sound very philosophical when I say this, but you need to be a well-informed person. You cannot live life like as though it's a Bollywood movie, like you're a Shah Rukh Khan or you're a Deepika Padukone. You cannot just live life only for the sake of fancy, right? You got to live life with some responsibility, with some ambition, with the power of achieving something and making a name for yourself. And all this will come only when people have a certain level of intellectualism, is what I would call that word. Only if you have that certain degree of intellectualism in you are you going to strive to be somebody tomorrow. Otherwise you're just going to end up being a normal human being. There's going to be no difference between you and probably say your neighbor who whose job is to probably get up every day in the morning, make food, only feed their family, take care of their loved ones, but apne dreams ko maar dena. So connecting this to the field of journalism, I would say always be aware about your surroundings. Be aware about what's happening in your country, what's happening in the world, not just when it comes to politics. I mean, when it comes to any field for that matter, whether it's related to sports, whether it's related to civic issues, whether it's related to elections, whether it's related to your voting rights as a citizen. See, when you start reading, Akhil, the main the main point over here is about reading. Once a person starts reading and keeps yourself well informed about all events, there is no way by which anybody can fool you with any form of news, if you ask me. And that is number one step to distinguishing what is the truthful news and what is fake news. क्योंकि actual news वही इंसान जान सकता है जो इंसान अपने इर्द गिर्द जो हो रहा है ना, what was happening around you की knowledge रखे. If you have the knowledge about what's happening in and around you, you're not going to get fooled by news channels or news anchors or what people tell you. You would go and verify that yourself. So I think
Right.
being well aware is the first step in not falling a prey to fake news, is what I'll tell you.
Yes, that is so true. I'd like to also add that nowadays everyone has a smartphone.
Yes.
Everyone has access to internet. Everyone has information available in their own hands. I think instead of just going to Instagram for pictures and comments and things like that,
Yeah.
there should be something that people should actually look forward to, especially in times like this. Fake news is very easy to, like be broadcasted and have a chain of its own.
Of course.
So I think to remain aware of what the exact thing is going on, I think using social media in a better way is actually very important.
That's such a beautiful point, Akhil, because social media आजकल selfies लेने के लिए, अपने दोस्तों के साथ post करने के लिए, मतलब like यार, what are we doing as a country? Because honestly speaking, क्या हमारा काम social media पे is only about beautifying ourselves, showing how our lives are, or showing some fancy things that belong in your life? No, I always say, not just because I'm a journalist, but also as an individual, even if you are on a social media app, your life should not revolve around only Bollywood or the stars or what the stars are doing. That is an entertainment bit of life, right? But you as a person in the society, what kind of change are you bringing about? How are you helping your country develop? How are you helping your country grow? Because as citizens, you and me can just sit and can criticize. ये नहीं हो रहा देश में, वो नहीं हो रहा देश में, ये नहीं कर रहे लोग, वो नहीं करे. अरे तुम क्या कर रहे हो भाई? इंस्टाग्राम और फेसबुक पे जाके सिर्फ बेकार की सेल्फीज खींच के एंड जस्ट टाइम पास करके तुम क्या कर रहे हो? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन आई आस्क पीपल. अगर तुम किसी भी प्रोफेशन में हो, इफ यू आस्क मी, also have the moral responsibility to contribute to the society, ना, contribute in some way or the other. लेकिन क्या करें अखिल, वो कहते हैं ना, सीरियस चीजें लोगों को आजकल पसंद नहीं आती अखिल. लेकिन अगर वही तुम एक टिकटॉक वीडियो, अच्छा टिकटॉक वीडियो कर लो जहां पे तुम बेफालतू चीजें कर रहे हो ना, उसी वीडियो पे तुम्हें सबसे ज्यादा लाइक और कमेंट मिलेंगे. बिकॉज पीपल लाइक स्टफ जहां पे सोचना नहीं पड़ता. वही तो प्रॉब्लम है हमारी सोसाइटी की.
वो सही बात है, क्योंकि आजकल जैसे हम देख रहे हैं मीमर्स और टिकटॉकर्स के बीच में जो लड़ाई चल रही है सोशल मीडिया पे, आई थिंक वो दैट्स एक्चुअली नॉट इवन रिक्वायर्ड. बोथ ऑफ देम आर डूइंग देयर जॉब व्हाटएवर इट इज, बट बी प्रोडक्टिव इज व्हाट आई वांट टू से टू बोथ ऑफ देम. एक मीम हर किसी पे बनाना आसान है, लेकिन इवन एनीथिंग, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट पीपल आर डूइंग बिफोर क्रिटिसाइजिंग.
ऑफ कोर्स.
कि अभी गवर्नमेंट जो भी कर रही है सबकी भलाई के लिए ही कर रही है. लॉकडाउन को बस क्रिटिसाइज करना इज नॉट ओके. बिकॉज हमारे देश में जहाँ पे पॉपुलेशन इतना ज्यादा हो, वहां पे लॉकडाउन किए बगैर हम इसको कंट्रोल तो नहीं कर सकते.
लेकिन लोग ये समझते नहीं है ना अखिल. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम इन हमारा सोसाइटी आजकल. अगर लोग न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ेंगे, न्यूज देखेंगे, तभी तो उनकी नॉलेज बढ़ेगी इन सभी चीजों के बारे में. बट इफ दे आर गोइंग टू बी पीपल हु आर गोइंग टू से मुझे ना न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना है, ना टीवी देखना है, मुझे बस शाहरुख खान की मिमिक्री करनी है या दीपिका पादुकोण और रणवीर सिंह की मैरिड लाइफ कैसे जा रही है, अगर सिर्फ आपका अटेंशन वहां पे हो, तो खाक अपने सोसाइटी में कुछ कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट किया है ना.
Actually, using this time in a lot of important and productive things is more necessary, because you can learn a lot of things. ऐसे टाइम बार बार हमें मिलना भी नहीं चाहिए कि कोई बात करके हम आपको घर पे बिठा दे.
करेक्ट.
When we have got them, we have to use it properly. ऐसा नहीं कि लेट उठो, लेट सो,
करेक्ट,
फिर टीवी देखो, वो देखो, इंस्टाग्राम देखो, यही चलता रहेगा. It's not very productive. सबके लिए, सबका frustration और कुछ नहीं हो रहा हमारे देश में.
very true, very true. Akhil, just because you pointed out this very important point कि एक इंसान को productive होना चाहिए, especially in the lockdown period, it's the best period which gives an opportunity to everybody to learn something new, or probably to come out with a better version of yourself after this lockdown. I can tell you, I'm so proud of myself, Akhil. जितना मैं productive ये lockdown में थी, I don't think so मेरी इतनी जिंदगी में मैं कभी थी पहले, because I have tried and attempted to do and learn so many new things and make myself a better human being every day. that I've just realized so many other things that I used to do as a part of my growing up was so much of crap. Like मैं नहीं कह रही कि जब मैं grow up कर रही थी मैं सिर्फ entertainment में या अपने आप को pretty दिखवाना, photos खींचना, selfies खींचना, social media पे डालना. It's not that I've not done anything of that sort. Of course I've lived that phase, but slowly when you start realizing what is the condition or the environment you're living in, what's happening around the world, what's happening in your country, how this can affect you and me, then trust me yaar, tum ye sari entertainment cheezon se dhyan hata ke na, you will start focusing on how to make this world a better place. And I'm still honestly waiting, Akhil, ki wo din kab aayega jab mere jo followers hai na unme se ek do log aise hote hain jo mujhe DM करके कहते हैं कि क्या यार सारा, तुम तो कभी कभार इतने सीरियस इश्यूज लेके डिस्कस करती हो अपने शो पे, या तुम इतने सीरियस इश्यूज लेके अपनी इंस्टाग्राम पे डालती हो, कुछ मजाकी करो ना, कुछ टिकटॉक करो ना. मेरा उनसे बस इतना ही कहना है कि हाँ मैं आरजे हूँ, I am an RJ. I am here to entertain you on air as well as on social media. But I am also a public figure who needs to set an example as to what are some of the good things that you need to focus on as citizens of this country. है ना? सिर्फ टिकटॉक पे वीडियोस बना लिया, थोड़े ड्रामे कर लिए, थोड़े कॉमेडी वीडियोस डाल दिया, उससे थोड़ी ना एक आरजे आरजे बनता है यार. आरजे की एक मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी होनी चाहिए, राइट? If there is something that I can teach my people, that I can tell my followers, I would love to do that. I just don't want to be somebody who's here to only be, a joker. I call such people jokers, Akhil. You're not here to only be a joker and do funny stuff, यार. कुछ सिखाओ, कुछ सीखो, कुछ positive impact करो society पे, कुछ help करो, contribute, and that's what makes a responsible public figure.
Exactly. I think public figure hone pe, I think there's a lot of responsibility in that. It's not very easy to be a public figure because there's a lot of people out there who get influenced by what these public figures do. True. And कि कुछ भी कर दिया and they follow it and they redo what the people are doing. So it's a responsibility on public figures and even us as individuals at home also. There are youngsters who look at us and say, oh, my brother's doing like this, let me also do it.
Correct.
Responsibility on everybody. So I think we should understand that there is responsibility on everyone's head. It's not just public figures pe hai, government pe hai, ya celebrities pe hai.
Absolutely.
Everyone has their own responsibilities.
आज की ही बात है अखिल, मेरे पेज पे मुझे काफी सारे डीएम्स मिले where you have these certain people who follow you for the sake of following. मतलब for the sake of following they'll follow you, ये सोच के कि मुझे फॉलो कीजिए मैडम वापस. यार मुझे सिर्फ इन लोगों से इतना कहना है कि इंस्टाग्राम और फेसबुक जैसी चीज इज नॉट जस्ट मेंट फॉर तुम मुझे फॉलो करो तो मैं तुम्हें फॉलो करूंगी. दीज प्लेटफॉर्म्स आर मेंट टू ऑल्सो पोर्ट्रे सम टैलेंट. जो भी तुम्हारा टैलेंट हो, जिस फील्ड में भी हो, उसको पोर्ट्रे करो, उसको दिखाओ दुनिया को. बट ऑल्सो गाइज यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग. जब आप एक पर्टिकुलर पब्लिक फिगर को फॉलो करते हो, चाहे वो आरजे हो, एक्टर हो, डायरेक्टर हो, सिंगर हो, यू आर डूइंग सो सीइंग व्हाट दे हैव टू ऑफर, राइट? लाइक एन आरजे विल ऑफर यू ढेर सारा एंटरटेनमेंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ फन इंटरव्यूज, फन चिट चैट्स, सम गेम सेगमेंट्स, सम ऑन एयर शो सेगमेंट्स. और एक एक्टर या एक्ट्रेस क्या करेगा, अपने पिक्चरों के बारे में will basically put up stuff about their movies, about their acting career, some photo shoots of theirs. So हर एक बंदा ना एक पर्पस के लिए इंस्टाग्राम या फेसबुक पे होता है. थोड़े लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो बिना मतलब के लिए फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम पे होते हैं, जिसको कहते हैं टाइम पास, अखिल. एंड आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड कि लोग टाइम पास करने क्यों आते हैं यार इंस्टा और फेसबुक पे. इंस्टा और फेसबुक जैसे चीज गाइज इज नॉट मेंट फॉर यू फॉलो मी सो आई विल फॉलो यू. ऐसा नहीं होता यार. इफ यू रियली वांट टू मेक गुड यूज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स, प्लीज डू सो इन अ वे वेयर यू विल बी contributing in some way. Akhil, आप मुझे बताओ, when we spoke about self-image that day, when we spoke about loving yourself, when we spoke about how you need to accept yourself for who you are, in one way or the other, I had so many people message me telling me, ma'am, your talk and Akhil's talk inspired us to believe in ourselves and, pursue what we want to pursue. Now, that is where I say a public figure or a celebrity or people like an RJ or an actor or a singer must create. You should not only follow people for the sake of following या because you want them back to follow you. और अगर आपको दिल से किसी को फॉलो नहीं करना है, please do not go and click the follow button. Just click the follow button if you can respect the work that they do, and if you can respect the kind of impact that they want to have on the society, and probably give out a good lesson.
Yeah, I think as we were talking about that day where we were talking about self-respect and all of that, and people told me, and even when I was doing another live with someone else, there was a lot of people who did stand up and say we support you. I think those people didn't even know. So when people like that come up to you and say like, "Oh, we really respect what you do," that moral support means a lot. But when somebody follows you just because you know somebody else,
Yeah,
it's a bit disturbing. I did get DMs saying that, "Oh, you know this person, can you introduce us?" I was like, please, guys, this is not a platform where I will do that to anybody.
exactly.
This doing it for the sake of to make sure that I'm doing something with myself, with my life, this quality, to make an impact in ways that I can. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I am active, doing a lot of things, doing cooking shows, doing this talk show, and I'm trying to make sure that I give out good content from my page. So
Right.
I'm doing what I can for the sake of being positive. It's not just for the sake of doing it or I want to gain popularity. There's no reason like that.
True.
So,
I think, Akhil, there was somebody who asked a question. Do you want to do like a little bit of asking people about what do they have in mind if they want to ask us some few questions, and if they want to know what is our viewpoint?
yes, yes. Any questions, guys? I think I can see one or two. A very good conversation.
Your video is getting stuck, Akhil. Your video is getting stuck. I can't see you. Now I can see you.
Yeah. Guys, any questions you want to ask Sarah, or you want to see me, or you want to ask me? You
Yeah,
can
guys.
do that in the section. You can go ahead. We will reply back to you. Just Jai Shri Ram, guys. Let's not get religious right here, please.
Okay.
Today I did
Something. Yeah. Akhil, your video is frozen a little bit. Your video is frozen a little bit on my side. I can't really. Yeah. Now I can see you, but it's becoming very hazy. Your video.
Easy. Can
Okay.
you, I think that
Uh, can he? Hi.
today.
Yeah. Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you. There was some network issue. So, Spurti was asking me a question that can you tell us a little bit about how you became a radio jockey? Spurti, answering your question again, coming back to becoming a radio jockey, the basics, it happened through a newspaper ad. So I saw an advertisement in the newspaper which said कि अपने voice notes भेजो, अपना video भेजो और पाओ मौका to be this RJ, and I did that. मैंने अपना video भेजा, मैंने अपना voice note भेजा, and Radio Mirchi liked it. They liked the tonal quality of my voice. They invited me for an interview, and मैंने interview दिया. उसके बाद ढेर सारे दूसरे auditions देने पड़े, and finally I made it to Radio Mirchi as an RJ. तो मेरा journey काफी simple था. I wouldn't say बहुत कठिन वाला था. But yes, coming from the field of journalism to radio, it was a big switch for me, because beach mein I also got a little time to do print journalism. Akhil, I was also a print journalist for First Post, so मैंने वो भी किया बीच में. So yeah, that's how my journey happened. Akhil, there was somebody who asked me this question, that what do I have to talk about the freedom of press ke bare mein? What is my opinion about the freedom of press of lately? And I'm so sorry I missed out on your name. I did not read your name, but answering your sawal. Sorry?
Go ahead, you answer. I'll just search for who the person was.
Yeah, so basically answering to your sawal, my opinion about the freedom of press in our country, I do not want to go into the negative side of it. I would only say what I feel personally about the freedom of press. Chahe wo freedom of press ho, citizens ke rights ho, or whether anybody is allowed to say a certain thing or not, I really feel it's curtailed to a large extent. Now, I am not going to blame any particular entity and say इनके वजह से हमारा freedom of press नहीं है या इस particular entity के वजह से लोग वो नहीं बोल पाते जो उनको कहना है. See, guys, now when you live in a democracy, which is, of course, our country like India is a democracy, our constitution gives you the right? A constitution gives a person like Akhil the right, a constitution gives the person like Sara a right to express what you want to express, whether it is spoken form, whether it's written form. But the only thing is, as long as it's not jeopardizing, अगर वो किसी के खिलाफ, किसी के security को related या किसी चीज को harm नहीं करते हुए, if you're expressing something, I think all of us do that, right? Now, but if you're going to ask me if all of us have the liberty to express whatever we want to, I wouldn't really say 100%. 100% तो हमारे पास वो power नहीं है that we can go ahead and say what we want to. But with this, I will only say never shy away from expressing what the truth is and what you see. If you see and if you hear certain things which you feel are wrong, have the courage in you to always express it no matter what, guys. That is what I will tell you in terms of freedom of press about the way we exercise it.
There's a question here. Tell me, Akhil, how can you use social media for going into media radio jockey profession?
Sure,
I think Sara answered the question and not me. So
Akhil,
yes.
Akhil, again, I'm losing your awaz. It's not coming through the microphone. I think network is really patchy.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you from a distance. Is it your microphone? Because I can't find your voice coming through it.
Is my awaz coming now? I'm speaking a bit louder.
Very faint awaz. Can I send you a request back? I'm so sorry, but the internet is bad.
Yes, you can send me a request back. I'll do. On the 10 minutes? On 10 ನಿಮಿಷ. Okay. Sara, I have sent you a request. Adding you. I think you've got my request.
All right, hi, here I am.
Yes, we're back.
Yes, we're back. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, but we lost connection and we were addressing to somebody's question. What was the question though?
How can you use social media to get into media and radio jockey profession?
Of course you can use social media. I think social media is tomorrow's future, guys. And अगर आपको radio jockey बनना है, तो social media is the thing that you got to be on. But please try and use social media, चाहे वो आपका Facebook हो, Instagram हो, या कोई भी other Twitter हो, जो भी हो. Try to use it for a purposeful thing, right? जैसे कि मैंने आपको कहा, if there is some sort of contribution from your side towards the society, probably in terms of covering a news, talking about a particular news, or probably covering segments which can help people know about certain things that they do not know of, you have a great potential to become a radio jockey. अब रेडियो जॉकी से हमें क्या पता चलता है? बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं कि रेडियो जॉकी का काम क्या होता है? रेडियो पे जाओ और बस बकते जाओ. Let me tell you guys कि रेडियो जॉकी का काम ये नहीं होता कि रेडियो पे जाओ और बस बकते जाओ. There's a whole lot of responsibility that goes in talking sense. अब देखो, there's a difference between थोड़ी चीज that probably you would have come across of radio jockeys just talking, and there's a difference between radio jockeys who actually sit, plan their content, plan what they have to tell you, script it out and talk to you. So I would just tell you कि अगर आपको radio jockey बनना है social media के through, ensure that you are well informed, well read, you are aware about what's happening in and around you, and social media का सही तरीके से इस्तेमाल करो.
Yes, that is so true. And just guys, like how I'm doing this live, I think if you can try out something, be good with your language. ऐसे like spoken English अपना improve करना या फिर Hindi improve करना हो, languages jitne aapko aate hai, that will be a really good plus point for you. So try to learn new languages, try to get in touch with pages on Instagram which help you teach these things. I think following those things and learning will lead to more improvement in yourself than just follow your friends and like their pictures and comment. So I think there's a lot of positives in the social media than the negatives. So
Absolutely.
I would rather positives, guys. There's a lot of things to do. In this times, looking at the negatives will just like make your mind go more spiral than it needed to be.
That's absolutely true. Does anybody have any more questions to ask Akhil or me today on Pillow Talk with Akhil?
Yes.
Anybody
Guys,
have any more questions?
Those of you who have not seen Ajay Sara's page on Instagram, please go follow her. You will be mind blown by the content that she is giving out on her page. And every show, every live, there's a new guest, there's a new conversation, there's a new concept that she's talking about. And also, Sara, there's a character that she's brought to life.
Right.
Like those of you who yet. The character is called Khala.
Right.
So can we talk a little bit about Khala? When did that come into your head? How did that happen?
Of course. I mean, we can talk about this fun character called Khala, which is basically my auntie, guys. And it's okay, come on, it's played by me. But I thought about this character when I went to this wedding, okay? And हमारे communities में actually auntie को Khala कहते हैं. And Akhil, जब भी हम marriages पे जाते हैं, वहाँ पे हम एक खाला नहीं, several खालाओं को मिलते हैं, जो ये बूढ़ी औरतें होती हैं, जिनका favorite काम होता है बैठ के gossip करना. And let me tell you guys, ये aunties जब बैठ के एक बार gossip करने लगती है, they talk only about one thing which matters the most to them, which is किसकी शादी नहीं हुई है. So whether it is about any girl, any boy जिनकी शादी नहीं हुई है, these aunties जिसे हम खाला कहते हैं, वो बैठ के बातें इतनी करेंगी about that particular girl and boy, मतलब they'll ensure that by the end of the conversation they hit you with somebody or the other in that marriage hall. So that is how I got inspired by this character. और मैंने सोचा कि अगर मैं ये character मेरे life में मेरे followers के लिए लेके आऊं, what would that character be like? So I named my character Sufia Begum, जिसे प्यार से लोग खाला बुलाते हैं. And खाला को बॉलीवुड का कीड़ा बहुत गंदी तरीके से काट चुका है. मतलब she is such a big Bollywood fan that you try to have a competition with her regarding any dialogue, any movie, and she will beat you hands down. So that is how the character of Khala is. And Akhil, I just enjoy playing this character because it's like a kind of a relaxation away from work, and making people smile and laugh a little because they enjoy talking to that character so much that I enjoy playing it. I enjoy playing that character, and I enjoy people laughing and smiling and talking to her.
So how does it feel, when there's so much love being given to you on your social media handles, when you have DMs saying that you're doing an amazing job, there are a lot of positive DMs coming your way. Right. How does it affect you? What do you think?
Honestly,
what would you like to say to all of those?
I feel so overwhelmed जब लोग मुझे messages भेजते हैं saying Mirchi, Sara, thank you so much. तुम्हारे वजह से we got back to a particular passion that we left. Or या तुम्हारे वजह से Sara, we went up and ended up doing something that we stopped doing. It just makes me feel that wow, I could actually influence somebody in such a positive manner कि लोग मुझे thank, like just yesterday की बात है, Akhil, believe it or not, I would share it on my stories today. There was this particular follower of mine who thanked me for getting back to his passion of writing poetry, and he said, this is only thanks to you, Sara, because I hear your content on your show, I listen to you, and the kind of stuff that you tell us made me want to get back and pursue my hobby all over again. And यार एक आरजे को इससे ज्यादा क्या चाहिए, right? When you can contribute to people's lives so positively, जहाँ पे आप लोगों को इतनी क्या बोलते हैं, इतनी पॉजिटिव सोच दे सकते हो, I think it's very overwhelming, Akhil. Every time I have tears in my eyes when people send me big messages saying that thank you, you make my day, you make me smile, you make me laugh, we love Khala's character, thank you so much for being our love guru. क्योंकि कभी कभार मैं love relationships के issues भी solve करती हूँ, trust me, and मुझे लगता है कि मेरा नाम ना मिर्ची सारा से love guru सारा हो जाना चाहिए because of the kind of love stories I've been solving of lately. But yeah, I mean, it feels great.
See, now we all know that you're multi-talented. That one more talent added to that list, which is Love Guru.
Right.
Interesting. So, to those who don't know, Sara, guys, is an amazing singer. The way she sings on Sara, come on. We've all seen your lives. We know how much of a Bollywood lover you are and how much you love singing.
Right.
Can we have one song from you? I am sure which is going to be a 90s song, with that is because that's your favorite era. I think one 90s song.
Okay, honestly speaking, Akhil is just being a sweetheart today and he's praising me for being this person who sings well. Singing बस मेरी hobby है, मेरा passion है, because I enjoy music, guys, and मेरे show पे I have a lot of content that I talk regarding music and old Bollywood movies. And Akhil, as you are right, I love पुराने गाने. I like songs from 90s and backwards. मुझे 2000 के बाद के गाने till about 2003 or 4 I probably like it, but आजकल के गाने is like a big no for me. Sara does not like the kind of songs that our industry is coming up with. But yeah, all right. If I have to sing probably a song for you, Akhil, it will be an old song. Is it okay if I don't sing a 90s number? If I can go back a little more older than that?
Definitely, please. Any song from you. Yes, any
okay,
song.
Otherwise, if we have to sing a 90s number, we have such popular movies in the 90s, then why don't I sing a 90s number from the most popular movie, DDLJ? I'm pretty sure DDLJ sabne dekhi hogi, and it's a movie that is everybody's favorite. So I will hum a song from DDLJ. And I think, okay. तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम, अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाए हम, तेरी बाहों मर जाए हम, तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम. That was Tujhe Dekha To Ye Jana Sanam, guys, and for that was for you, Akhil, a song that I dedicate for this sweet boy. Yeah.
Thank you so very much. I think, guys, I owe this to Sara because every day from the day I met her, to the first message I even sent her, she's been supporting it right from there. There was a lot that she has taught me through. The confidence, the way she talks on her show. I think there's a lot to learn. If you can see her Hindi, her Urdu, it's so clean, it's so authentic. You feel connected just by listening to that voice.
Thank you,
so Sara, a little bit more into your profession. How does how does Radio Mirchi function? How do you guys how does work go about? How is everything there?
So basically, a radio station largely depends upon something called revenue from advertisements, just like how television works. So हमारा major chunk of revenue comes from our sales and marketing department, जो जाके हमारे radio स्टेशन की मार्केटिंग करता है, जो हमारे शोज और आरजेस की मार्केटिंग करता है, एंड दे गेट अ लॉट ऑफ क्लाइंट्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट क्लाइंट्स, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कॉलेजेस और schools or big corporate honchos or ad agencies. Basically, whoever wants to put out an ad on radio becomes our client. Now, these particular clients can vary from any industry. And जब भी ये spots बचते हैं हमारे logs पे, basically logs are what for an RJ's understanding. It's an entire structure of how your program goes. So basically, in that, jahan pe bhi aap breaks sunte ho, that is exactly when these particular ad spots play, and that is where our money comes from. So, and that is how obviously our salaries also are paid. So, a radio structure, apart from ads, has music and has radio jockey elements. Now, when I mean RJ elements, वो ये elements होते हैं जहाँ पे एक RJ बात करता है आप लोगों से. So, whenever I start my show, लोगों को लगता है कि एक RJ 3 घंटे के शो में पूरे 3 घंटे बात करता है. No, it doesn't work that way. It's a combination of songs and advertisement and the RJ speaking. So आपका RJ say मेरे शो पे Afternoons with Sara, which starts at 12 p.m. and goes on till 3 p.m. in the afternoon, is a mixture of all this. So मैं थोड़ा बात करती हूँ, थोड़ा गाने बजाऊंगी, फिर वापस आ जाऊंगी, फिर गाने बजेंगे. So it's a combination and a mixture of all. Now apart from this, एक रेडियो स्टेशन में there is something called special segments that play. और जब मैं special segments कहूंगी, I'm pretty sure नाविद का मुर्गा is something everybody loves, right? So हमारे नाविद भाई जो है दिल्ली से, हमारे RJ who does मिर्ची मुर्गा is like the most loved segment on Radio Mirchi's entire network, and that particular segment is called a sparkler. तो जब भी मुर्गा प्ले होता है, या वी ऑल्सो हैव समथिंग कॉल्ड व्हाट द फरहान दीज डेज विच प्लेज. सो व्हाट द फरहान हो, मिर्ची मुर्गा हो, these are all considered sparklers. Sparklers are these very specialized popular segments of a radio station that play, and this is also a part of our structure. So before ad breaks you'll get to listen to this, then you listen to a few ads, you have a mixture of RJ talking with songs. So that's exactly what that's how a radio station works. Apart from this, the radio station also has concerts. We bring a lot of celebrities down to Bangalore, whether it is
Right.
actors, directors, singers, or we have concerts with singers. We've had some of the most fabulous people from the Bollywood industry who've been a part of Radio Mirchi, who've come and performed in Bengaluru. और वो concerts आके हम जैसे RJs host करते हैं. So we basically host these concerts for those celebrities which come down, and we sell tickets on air via our exciting games and stuff. So हम listeners के साथ games खेलते हैं, listeners answer करते हैं, and if you win, you end up getting the ticket for that particular concert absolutely for free. So matlab you can go watch your favorite celebrity perform for free. So that's how a radio station works.
Right. And getting behind the work that happens, how do you, I've seen a lot of pictures or a lot of group pictures and selfies on your page.
Right.
How much fun you guys have? How is the vibe with all of your co-workers like?
Of course, yeah. I think that is the speciality of a radio station. Now, compared to a newspaper and a television, which is obviously a tad bit serious compared to radio का environment एक बड़ा ही fun environment होता है, Akhil. We have so much fun in the radio station because it's a creative environment, right? You need to be a creative person if you have to join the media field. चाहे वो TV हो, चाहे वो newspaper हो या radio हो. Creativity should be at its peak. So radio में this creativity का जो parameter है, वो थोड़ा सा high होता है. So every time we guys are up to some prank or the other, or we are probably troubling somebody or the other, and believe it or not, इन्हीं pranks से we actually get our video or our content ideas. So we get content ideas when we're sitting and having fun with each other, or probably just sitting and probably talking about a particular issue in office, or सोचते सोचते देखते देखते we come up with a video idea and we say, wow, yeah, we are going to convert this into a content piece for our listeners, तो that's what I say, एक आरजे का काम इजी नहीं होता. आरजे सिर्फ बकता नहीं है यार, आरजे को सोचना भी पड़ता है. There needs to be a connection between your your mouth and your brain. You need to think before you speak.
That's true. The last line literally made a lot of sense, but think before you speak. I'm sure, Sarah, because since everything you say goes on air, you have to be very careful with what you have to talk about.
Of course.
And coming back to a little bit with that connection, I don't think you were a talkative child back in your childhood days. This talking ka kida came into you only after you became quite as your age progressed in college maybe.
Absolutely.
But I don't think you were a child you were very talkative.
No, but it's not completely true क्योंकि मैं बचपन से talkative थी, Akhil. But my parents tell me the story of how as a 3-year-old, till I turned 3, I never spoke. I mean, it's something very funny. But my parents were really scared. They thought उनकी बेटी गूंगी है यार, वो बात नहीं कर सकती क्या? क्योंकि till 3 years I absolutely did not speak. And my parents said that after 3 years, तुमने जो बोलना शुरू किया सारा, मतलब आज तक मैंने अपना मुंह बंद नहीं किया. That is how they describe me, and they say कि radio jockey is like the most suited profession for you. So there was LKG when my teacher, have I lost Akhil? Are you there? Yes. So when my teacher literally had to, she put a tape on my mouth because I was talking constantly in the class to my classmates, that she literally put a tape on my mouth because I just wouldn't shut up. So मेरा ये बात करने का जो कीड़ा है ना, वो बचपन का कीड़ा है यार अखिल.
So guys, there you have it. The actual baat karne ka kida for Sarah has started very young at the age of 3, and she is still continuing. That's the reason why she's become RJ Sarah today. So, and those who don't know, there's another side to Sarah who really cares a lot for other people, animals. She's done a lot of things. She's done a lot of work for people recently, especially.
So,
seen a story.
I believe in doing a lot of. Yes, like I believe in doing a lot of work for the underprivileged sector, Akhil, whether it's about feeding the feeding the poor, contributing in terms of the lockdown to people who were really suffering, like migrant workers and daily wage laborers, or whether it was working with NGOs very closely for women empowerment or child development for underprivileged slum children. Right from my college days, as young as when I was about 17 years old, I got into the sector where I worked for a couple of NGOs, whether it was Help Age India, where I worked for the senior citizens, elderly people, collecting funds, raising funds for them, or whether it was working for UNI, an organization which works for underprivileged children. I've been a very close part of that organization, teaching slum children next to my place. I was involved in a project back in the year 2011, or whether it was being a very close, close participant of blood banks. So I have been a very active blood donor for the last 11 years of my life. I have been donating blood very religiously every year, and I still continue to do so. So these particular aspects of helping the society, of helping people, the needy, the migrant, laborers, the daily wage workers, has been a very close part of my life. Because अकल मैं समझती हूँ या किसी भी इंसान अपने पैसे से, अपने स्टेटस से बड़ा नहीं होता. एक इंसान अपने कर्मों से बड़ा होता है. No, it depends on how much you do for another person in this world. I think that is what explains what a big person you are. So I have always believed in doing little work that I can for the society, and I still do. During the lockdown, I opened a kitchen, guys, and this is our last week where we have been cooking food, taking orders from people, and the money that we collect goes into feeding 15 to 20 families of daily wage workers and migrant laborers that I have adopted. So we've so far collected
Wow.
quite a bit of money for them.
That is amazing, guys. I think that's a huge inspiration in itself. I'll take a few comments.
Sure.
Idum Pasha office is sending love to both of you. Thank
Lots
you
of love,
so much.
Akhil.
Radioholic Nizam says retro music. What about it? Um, okay, so everyone's loved your singing, the
Thank you,
songs.
guys.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
And RJ Sara also loves pets. She's done a lot for the animals who can't talk. Also, she's been feeding the stray near her house.
Yes.
She's been doing all of that too. I think people can at least ask what they want. I don't think the animals can do that. So understanding those things is a virtue in itself. So thank you for doing that also, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Akhil. I think, I've had so much fun talking to you so far, that talking about my social sector work that I do, helping people, but apart from just being a professional who goes to office and does a job, I think इस जिंदगी में अगर तुम अपने neighbors के लिए poor and needy के लिए, जो भी इंसान इस दुनिया में सफर कर रहा है, इफ यू कैन नॉट कंट्रीब्यूट टू देयर लाइव्स इन सम वे और द अदर, आपने क्या ही जिंदगी जिया है यार. जिंदगी असल मायने में तब जीते हो जब आप दूसरों के लिए जीते हो, ना कि सिर्फ अपने लिए. दैट इज माय मोटो ऑफ माय लाइफ.
That is an amazing motto to have in life. Guys, I hope that you loved this episode of Pillow Talks with Akhil. Sarah, we're running short of time.
No problem.
Last question to you.
Yes.
How did you feel coming onto the show? How was talking about everything right from your childhood till date? How was the experience been like?
I think the experience was great because being an RJ, हमेशा हम लोग interview करते हैं, और जब हमें कोई interview करता है, it's such an overwhelming feeling. I feel so loved right now, and I also feel so blessed that I had an opportunity to connect with you, Akhil. You're a beautiful human being. Your soul reflects so much of warmth, and talking to you has been the happiest thing that I've done today. And I'm so glad that I could share a part of my life with you and all the people who heard us out. And I just want to say, continue to do the good job that you are, Akhil, and all the very best in all your endeavors. And I just pray and hope that God makes you reach the highest, pinnacle of success, and may you do very well in life.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Those words really impact a lot. And guys, I really want to thank Sarah for coming in today and talking to all of my viewers and giving out so much information, so much of thought, so much of positivity to everyone in these troubled times that we're facing. I'm sure this will all end very soon and life will become normal.
Sure.
But we both hope that you guys are staying safe, staying at home, and doing your bit for everyone. Absolutely. And I hope that all of us will back to normal very soon.
Absolutely.
And yes, we hope to that Radio Mirchi picks up really soon after this lockdown, and we get to see Sarah back in the Radio Mirchi office doing her shows with even more of energy. And
Absolutely.
wishing you a very happy month of Ramadan. And I hope that this month entirely brings you a lot of success and a lot of happiness.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the very best for
Thank
everything
you,
that's coming ahead,
Akhil.
and looking forward for a lot more work from your side.
Same here, Akhil. Thank you so much, and you have a great evening. And thank you so much for having me on Pillow Talks with Akhil.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was totally mine.
Bye.
Bye. So, guys, that was RJ Sara from Radio Mirchi. So, this has been my live with her. Tomorrow, I'm coming up with Chantan Kauda, the actor from Lakshmi Barama, who has done a lot of work, who is now currently in the Andhra television